The language of kindness. The snow fell softly outside the cafe window, each flake drifting down like a whispered secret. Inside, the warmth wrapped around everything, the hiss of the espresso machine, the gentle murmur of conversation, the golden glow of pendant lights reflected in polished wood tables. Emma Rodriguez wiped down the counter with slow, practiced movements. It was Tuesday afternoon, the quiet time between the lunch rush and the evening crowd. She'd worked at this cafe for 3 years now, ever since she'd moved to Seattle. It wasn't glamorous work, but there was something honest about it. Something real. The door chimed, letting in a swirl of cold air and snowflakes. A man entered, brushing snow from his dark suit jacket. He looked around with the careful attention of someone seeing a place for the first time, then chose a table by the window. His laptop case looked expensive, his shoes polished to a mirror shine. Business traveler, Emma thought. They got a lot of those in this neighborhood. She walked over with a menu and a warm smile. Good afternoon. What can I get started for you? The man looked up, and she noticed the tension around his eyes, the way his jaw was set tight. Coffee, he said, then hesitated. Black coffee, please. His accent was slight but distinct, somewhere European, she guessed. German, maybe. She'd learned to pick up these small details over the years, learned that sometimes an accent could make someone feel far from home. I'll bring that right over, she said gently. When she returned with his coffee, he was staring at his laptop screen with visible frustration. His fingers hovered over the keyboard but didn't type. He muttered something under his breath, definitely German. Emma set down the cup carefully. Is everything all right? He looked up, surprised. I'm sorry. Yes. Just technical difficulties. He gestured at the screen with a helpless expression. I have a video conference in 10 minutes, and my presentation won't open. And my assistant is in a different time zone, asleep. Emma could hear the stress beneath his polite tone. She glanced at the laptop. May I? She asked, gesturing toward the computer. He hesitated for just a moment, then nodded. Please, I'm desperate. She leaned in to look at the screen. The error message was in German. Without thinking, she spoke in his language, her words careful but clear. It looks like the file format isn't compatible with your current software. Do you have the original file backed up anywhere? The man's eyes widened. You speak German? Some, Emma said with a modest smile. My grandmother was from Munich. She taught me when I was little. Relief flooded his face. He explained the situation in rapid German, showing her his cloud storage. Emma worked calmly, her fingers moving across the keyboard with quiet confidence. She'd always been good with computers, had even studied computer science for 2 years before her scholarship ran out. As she worked, other customers came in. Emma excused herself periodically to take orders, make drinks, and return to help the businessman. Each time she came back, she offered a reassuring word, a patient explanation. You're very kind, he said during one of these moments, watching her work. Most people wouldn't take this much time. Emma shrugged, her eyes still on the screen. Everyone needs help sometimes. Besides, it's a slow day. She wasn't just helping with the technical problem, though. As she worked, she noticed emails in other languages, French, Spanish, Italian, Mandarin. When his phone rang with a text in Spanish, she glanced at it. That's your car service, she said in Spanish. Confirming pickup at 6. He stared at her. You speak Spanish too. My mother's family is from Mexico, Emma explained, switching back to English. I grew up speaking both. Over the next few minutes, as she fixed his presentation and helped him prepare for his video call, she effortlessly moved between languages. A text from a colleague in Paris, she read it aloud in French. A notification in Italian, she translated it. When a message in Mandarin appeared, she pronounced the sender's name correctly and gave him the gist of the message. 6 languages, the man said quietly, almost to himself. You speak 6 languages. 7, actually, Emma said with a slight smile, saving his file. I learned Russian from a regular customer who used to come in here. He was a chess champion, very patient teacher. She straightened up. There you go. Your presentation should work now. I'd recommend updating your software tonight, though, so this doesn't happen again. The man looked at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. What's your name? Emma. Emma Rodriguez. Emma. He said it slowly, like he was committing it to memory. Thank you. You've saved me from a very embarrassing situation. Just happy to help, she said. Your conference starts in a few minutes. I'll make sure no one bothers you. She returned to the counter, giving him space. Through his video call, she could see him presenting with confidence, gesturing at charts and graphs. When other customers came near his table, she gently guided them to seats farther away. An hour later, he closed his laptop and approached the counter. He looked lighter somehow, the tension gone from his shoulders. "That went well?" Emma asked. "Very well, thanks to you." He pulled out his wallet. "What do I owe you?" "For the coffee and everything else." "Just the coffee. $4.50. He handed her a credit card. As Emma processed it, she glanced at the name, David Schneider. It meant nothing to her. "Emma," he said as she handed back his card. "Can I ask you something? Why are you working here?" The question might have sounded rude from someone else, but his tone was genuinely curious, almost concerned. Emma thought about it. "Because it's honest work. Because I like people. Because," she paused, "because sometimes life doesn't go the way you plan, and you make the best of where you are." He nodded slowly. "In the languages, the computer skills, you taught yourself these things?" "Mostly. Books, online courses, practice." She smiled. "You learn a lot when you're curious about the world." David reached into his jacket and pulled out a business card. "I'd like to offer you a job, Emma. My company is expanding, and we need someone exactly like you. Someone smart, resourceful, kind. Someone who solves problems." Emma looked at the card. Her eyes widened. Schneider International. She knew that name. Everyone did. It was one of the largest global consulting firms in the world. You're David Schneider." "The David Schneider. I am," he said simply. "And you're Emma Rodriguez, who speaks 7 languages, understands technology, and treats every problem, and every person, with patience and care. That's rare. That's valuable." Emma's hands trembled slightly as she held the card. "I don't have a degree. I never finished college. You have something better than a degree. You have wisdom, compassion, and practical intelligence. The rest we can train." He smiled. "Think about it. Call the number on that card. Ask for me directly." He headed toward the door, then paused. "Oh, and Emma, today you helped a customer with a problem. But you did something more important. You reminded me why I started my company in the first place, to help people, across all languages and borders. Thank you for that reminder." The door chimed as he left, snow swirling in his wake. Emma looked down at the card in her hand, then out at the snowy street where David Schneider disappeared into the crowd. Around her, the cafe hummed with its familiar warmth. She thought about her grandmother teaching her German while making strudel, her mother singing Spanish lullabies, all the people who'd shared their languages and their stories with her. She thought about how sometimes, when you treat every moment with care, when you help every person who crosses your path, life finds a way of helping you back. Carefully, Emma tucked the card into her apron pocket and returned to wiping down the counter. A quiet smile on her face. Outside, the snow continued to fall, each flake finding its own path down, landing exactly where it was meant to be.